No, they can't get you back. No, no, they can't. No, they can't. No. Oh, oh.
So guys, the team sheet. I did say on Nightcap that I wanted to see 2 or 3 changes. That's exactly what we've done. Miles Lewis-Skelly comes in for Calafiori and Martinelli comes in for Trossard. Now I probably would have done something with Timber and I probably would have done something in the midfield. To be honest with you, I'm quite surprised that Moreno actually took part in the conference, the pre-game conference. Talked about how great Arteta was as a manager. And he actually hasn't really featured in the game, so that's quite surprising. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that he would play today. It doesn't really matter, guys. All we're talking about is players getting rest, rotation, and whoever doesn't start is probably going to likely turn up on the field, whether it's after 60 or 70 minutes. So it doesn't really make a difference, but I'm glad that the changes happened. Some of these players, people might say don't deserve to be on the bench, but everyone's got to get their shot. And when you do get your chance, you've got to come in, show and prove, and show exactly to the manager why you should be starting. So that's good rotation from the manager. A couple of you guys also send in these Sky Sports Spurs pundits coming on talking about Arteta's not rated as a top manager and how boring the football is. And look, that's just noise. Like, that's the only way that you can complain. It wasn't that long ago that Arsenal was sending opposing fans out of the stadium at half time because they were 3 or 4-0 up. And then here we are, and they're talking about set pieces, corners and all this crap and 1-0 and us having the best defence. Look man, it's just noise. We carry on doing what we're doing and then we move forward. I speak to you guys at half time. I'm still going for a 2-1 win here for Arsenal today. So listen, let's see how it works. Let's see the new guys come in and make an impact. This is exactly the type of game that we want to see Martinelli in, where there's no real low block and you're free to play how you want to play. And then obviously Gyökeres, who's found it difficult to set in because Gyökeres normally gets his game in terms of running deep beyond the back line. And a low block doesn't really suit Gyökeres' game style. So in games like today, where it's a little bit more free-flowing, Gyökeres should have the space to make a difference. So let's see how he turns out, and I'll speak to you guys at half-time. What's going on, guys? It's 0-0 at the moment. I can't really complain about the game. It's been a really good, entertaining game. I came into this saying that we're going to see something different because teams like this don't play in a low block. So the game is pretty much open from that perspective. What does that mean? That means we're seeing a lot of chances, a lot of progressive forward play. Gyökeres is looking lively today. Being able to get on the ball quite a bit, especially in the build-up. He's had some nice touches, been very physical today on the front end, and there's something that you really like to see. We've had the chances, guys, I'm not going to lie, we should be 2-0 up. Martinelli not had his best start. I don't think Eze's had his best start as well. Both of those two guys are going to need to pick it up in the second half. And Zubimendi has been booked, he's on a yellow, so that means he's going to miss the next game, Sparta Prague. But look, overall, guys, Arsenal are dominating this game. They should be a couple of goals up. 8 shots, 2 on target. Everyone's talking about Arsenal not allowing even a shot on target over the last 2 games, and they've carried on that way today as well. Atletico have had 2 shots, none of them have been on target. Arsenal's gap play just suffocating them. There's no way forward when they get the ball in the midfield. You can see that because the gap plays so well from Arsenal, and they're probably the best in Europe at doing it, there's just no progression there. It suffocates teams in the midfield and it just forces them to go backwards time and time again. And Atletico really haven't seen that in the Liga coming to play against Arsenal. You can see they're bewildered, they're baffled, because it's just that type of defence that they've not really been accustomed to. I think the only team that's as good as Arsenal doing that is Inter Milan. But you can see the game really is there for Arsenal to take. And as I said, on the goal that went in by Martinelli, you should be square with Saka. Saka's putting the ball in. There's no way you should be a foot ahead of him. It's quite obvious to any player at this level that you've got to be in line or behind that cross. So how on earth is he in front of it? Just baffling decisions by Martinelli, which just questions the intelligence of the player, that makes you wonder why Trossard is playing. Trossard might not have the pace, might not have the skill that Martinelli's got, but it's what's upstairs that gets him the advantage, and that's why he's such an asset to Arsenal. And to be honest with you, I can see Moreno coming in for Zubimendi, and I can see Trossard coming in for Martinelli, because those guys are struggling. I would keep Eze out there. Eze, again, I talked to a Palace fan who said Eze wasn't essentially a number 10 at Crystal Palace. He played more as an 8 on that left-hand side. So a lot of Arsenal players are saying, yeah, play him at the 10, play him at the 10. You can see from Fulham and today that he's just not accustomed to playing there. He's not comfortable, not finding the space, not being that same expressive player that we know Eze can be. And I don't really know what Arteta's going to do, because there's really no one else outside of Nwaneri who can play at the number 10. And while he's adept, he isn't the passer. He doesn't have the vision, Nwaneri. That's still things that he's working on. But I'm happy with the first half. All we need to do is just get a little bit more lucky in the second half, and then we'll win this game. And it shouldn't be that difficult as long as we keep the fortitude at the back. I actually think the referee's done well, which is hard for me to admit anything like that. You know, referees come here to die in the Emirates Stadium, and I think this guy hasn't done too well. So I'm still going my prediction, an Arsenal 2-1 win, but it really doesn't look like that they're going to get a sniff Atletico. They're dangerous nonetheless, and we've got to keep it nice and tight. But listen, man, please let Gyökeres score today. Speak to you guys at full time.
So much love, that's why my heart's beating all these rhythms. Da 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 dum rhythms. Rhythms, da 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 dum rhythms. Rhythms, da 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 dum rhythms. Oh, rhythms, rhythms, rhythms. No blood vision, I see clear. No superstition, I don't fear what comes next. I'm not laying with an enemy of progress. I'm just trying to live my peace.
Guys, that is just an absolute great result. That's for me, one of our best nights in the Champions League. It's just absolutely going to be one of those games that you're going to remember for a long time. We absolutely destroyed them. Diego Simeone does not know what's hit him. It's been a moment of madness. Second half, really what it was is just they came out at us. They saw the opportunity. You know, they need this win just as badly as we do. And you could see that Atletico just changed formation, started to take a little bit more chances, and that opened things up for Arsenal with a set piece. Declan Rice, lovely through ball. Gabriel put Arsenal up 1-0. And then that's when Gyökeres just took over. And look, the goals were scrappy, but that's what you want your striker to do. You want him in the right position, making the right decisions. And how many times did Arsenal put the ball through into the box last season and had nobody on the end of it? That's what you pay Gyökeres for, and that's what the man delivered today. And it's so good for him now to feel that. He didn't actually celebrate the first goal. He just thought to himself, you know what, it's one of those things, I probably don't deserve it the way that I wanted to. And then the second goal went in and he was all over it. And kudos to him, brilliant moment for him. And a flood and flurry of substitutions made as well from Arteta. Just really thinking about Crystal Palace up next. My man of the match was Declan Rice. One of those legendary performances that you just see him running everything down, commanding players on the field, telling them where to go, telling them when to keep the tempo up. When they went 1-0 up, it was him that calmed everybody down. He told Raya to hold on to the ball. And it's just that kind of leadership which you love to see. We know Saka's the captain, but the real leader out there is Declan Rice. And he put in a leadership performance today. Absolutely brilliant from him. This result, guys, is going to send shockwaves through the Champions League. Arsenal now in third place, only on one goal difference. And so, look, man, this is it, guys. This is crunch time. This is what it's all about. Brilliant game. Crystal Palace up next. Speak to you guys later.
I'm just trying to live my peace and no stress. I'm just trying to do my best.